What's up guys, welcome back to another video. Hope you're all doing well today. We have got a track here that dates back to well over a year ago now. Just doing a little bit of digging through the tracks page, see if there's anything that I missed out on. And this is a track created by someone that majority of you will all know and love, which is Mr. Narvo009. Now, for those of you that are unaware, Narvo streams majority of the competitive NA races in this game. Very lovely man. I do have a bit of a soft spot for him. He's been nothing but nice to me in the past. Seems very, very genuine. And I also want to take this opportunity to wish him the best in his very near future. He's expecting to have a kid in November time, which is going to be very, very exciting. So best wishes for that. Hope all goes well and smoothly. And yeah, we're probably not going to get many more tracks from him coming up because he's going to be very, very busy. So this is Midwest Extreme MX, and it's a track that I didn't know existed. I've played one previous Narvo track in the game, which was Mountain View Cycle Park a long, long time ago. And that's one of them tracks which is just like absolutely massive booters everywhere, like you can throw it fat off every single jump. This one seems a little bit more tame. Now, it's almost like a compound as such. We have a Supercross track over here in the back corner. We have a straight rhythm here, which is nice. We don't have many straight rhythm tracks in the game in general, so I'll definitely be giving this one a few goes. And then we've got the main MX track over here. There is a bunch of free ride jumps dotted around. There's even a few freestyle ramps over in the back corner that way. I'm not going to touch on the free ride part of it at all. It's just not a bit of me. It doesn't interest me too much. However, the straight rhythm, the Supercross and the motocross definitely will be. So let's go and give them all a go. If you've been putting off buying that new MX gear, or you're just looking for some new daily MX related clothing, then head on over to fxrracing.com. Code MXPR_Lins15 at checkout will give you 15% off all motocross and lifestyle products. This code is applicable to the European, Swedish and Norwegian websites, and not Canada or the USA. And whilst I've got your attention, you may as well subscribe to the channel. It's just one click of a button and it puts a big old smile on my face. Hope you enjoy the rest of the video. And today we're going to be getting a ring ding 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 on by using the Yami 252 stroke. This is one of the factory bikes. Very, very enjoyable one. Probably the two stroke that I feel most comfortable on. I think it's definitely between this and the Kawi. Just the two that I feel most solid on in general. Very, very good bikes. Very good fun. I would say that the cockpit isn't as pretty as I would like, and I don't know the best way of wording that. It looks slightly dated. Like, it feels like the handlebars are really, really big, but I'm willing to overlook that for the feel of the bike. It feels very, very good, has an unbelievable amount of traction, and there's genuinely some tracks on the game that I am faster on this bike than I am on the 454 stroke. So yeah, very, very interesting combination overall. But let's see how these tracks go. From the quick flyover, it doesn't seem to be too difficult at all. You know, no massive ruts, no huge braking bumps. The jumps themselves seem fairly easy to time, so we shouldn't be struggling in any way, shape or form here. Although this looks like a bit of a big boy. Can we get a bit steezy? A little bit. You know, it's not much of a booter. It's just got the distance rather than the height. Absolutely huge ruts there that we haven't got to shut up for. Oh my Christ! Oh my Christ! Thank God that these bikes are good at overjumping things. There's probably going to be a lot of overjumping, a lot of mistakes throughout this, as it's all going to be based on raw first goes. That was very nice. I always love downsiding something perfectly the first time of trying. And I know that, obviously, mentioned in the intro that Narvo might be not as involved in the community as always with once his kid arrives. However, I do know that he's been working on something. He's been cooking up a little bit recently. He's been posting screenshots in a Discord that I'm part of, and it looks good. It looks exciting. This was all made in L3DT. If you know anything about track making, you'll know that L3DT can be a little bit of a pain in the bum to use. I myself couldn't get my head around it at all. I spent a good part of an hour trying to build one tabletop that just never looked how I wanted it to look, so I ended up scrapping it, and that's when I moved over to Photoshop. But Narvo's moved from L3DT over to Dalen Leveler, which is a paid program, which I did also buy, and then gave it an hour and then had no idea what was going on, and then again abandoned, which I do think is the way forwards. I definitely need to look into it and just sit down and try and learn it rather than making a track straight away. You know, I always say in this game, like, don't run before you can walk. I think that is the same case when it comes to track making. I think I was just trying to straight out of the gates make like a base terrain and then start working on jumps and corners without even fully knowing how to use all of the tools to the best of their abilities. So I definitely need to sit down at some point and just teach myself. I haven't browsed YouTube or the internet yet. Dalen Leather is a bit of a niche program to the extent of when you buy it, they send you it via email. Like, it's not like an automated service or anything. It's very, very small. And I believe it's mainly used for people designing golf courses, I believe, for having a look on their website, which is very, very interesting, very unique. And I have no idea how it kind of found its way into the track building community as a whole. But yeah, definitely something I need to sit down and teach myself a bit more. Now, Narvo has actually released a couple of other tracks in this game that I still haven't touched on. One is OPMC MX Port Angeles, wherever that is based. I'm guessing it's based off a real track. One is Grays Harbour, and then we've got the ones that I have played being Mountain View MX Park, and then this one being Midwest Extreme MX. Wasn't aware, didn't know he had such a repertoire, didn't know he had built that many tracks before. Thought he was just like the guy with the golden voice that's perfect for casting the streams. And this is definitely a very easy track. This is nothing on that I'm ever going to struggle with. You know, you can go around here pretty wide open. It's not challenging by any means. If you are newer to the game, there's a few jumps on here that you'll really enjoy to kind of practice your whips for the first time. Some of the corners are flat, but then others you have some big old ruts in them, so a little bit of variety there as well. And in terms of texture and stuff, nothing like absolutely mind-blowing, but it's nice. It's got an on-track and a kind of slightly off-track, and then a fully off-track being grass. And he's gone through the time and effort to actually make it look like the track has been pre-ridden on. You know, it's not all same like mine was. It's actually got like defined, I guess, not ruts, but you know, like grading lines, as if like some machinery's gone over it and kind of dug it all up and prepped it. So very nicely done actually. And I think this was his third track that he made overall. I believe there was two more before this, but still it's actually really nice to play. Mostly play stuff from people that you wouldn't expect it from. Same as when I raced mine. I know that I kind of let everyone know that I was building one, but probably not something you'd expect is someone who's more on the video side of things to try and get into track building and seeing what it's all about. And oh my god, I definitely recommend people look into it at least to see the effort that goes into building tracks overall, because it's a lot more in-depth and a lot more time consuming than you'd expect. And I do quite often see in the main MX Bikes Discord people saying like, can someone make me a track? I'll send you a bit of money. And I think in their head they're thinking like $20, when in reality, even if you was to kind of translate over into minimum wage aspects, the amount of time that goes into it, it's a couple of hundred at least. I know that Kevin Fuela, who's one of my more favourite track creators, he makes very nice flowy tracks. The ruts hold you really well. They're quite pretty as well. Mostly does stuff like the Brazilian series. I know he has just a flat rate of I think 300, which to a lot of people would seem like really extortionate and really, really high. But it's just a reflection of how much time and effort it takes overall. A lot of people, like you could say, it's a labour of love as well, which I agree with. But you know, some people are talented to the point where they can then turn their hobbies into a source of income. So if you want something bad enough, you know, if you have a local track, let's say, that you really, really enjoy riding, that you're super passionate about, and you've got some disposable income on the side, then by all means you can pay people to make tracks for you. It's when I see all the time some of the track creators like sharing screenshots of their DMs. Someone saying, "Oh, can you build my team a compound? I'll give you $10." And it's like, bruh, 10? Do you have any idea how much time goes into making that? Oh, it's crazy. It is nuts. But if you are unaware of track building in general, there's a whole bunch of good tutorials out there, whether it's TFC or Resolute Kraken, and there's even some more like in-depth stuff on creating like on masking, from whether it's Endo or creating ruts by Bank Minotaurs. It's all good stuff. So definitely, just if you're ever venturing down the YouTube rabbit hole, have a look through, see what tickles your interest. Okay, so I'm saying that Nationals track is a little bit too easy for my liking. I want a little bit more of a challenge. So we're going to come over to the Supercross side of things. Now, Narvo does mention in this track post on mods that this is his first go at Supercross related stuff, so to take it easy on him. So I certainly will do, especially knowing how hard Supercross stuff was for me to make. The reason that I've never released it is because I'm not happy with any of the Supercross stuff I've made. So I'm interested to see how this goes, because I don't think, when using L3 DT, like track making software, I don't believe there is a way of saving like templates at all. So I believe every like single that you see here, or every on-off, is made one by one. So there's no template as such to follow, at least to my knowledge. Maybe he used like one software for the motocross, maybe he used something else for the supercross. I know that Photoshop, for example, is really good for supercross tracks because it enables you to have that, I guess, consistency across the track and over all your jumps. But so far, after lap 1, seems quite tame, very straightforward, which is absolutely fine. I've said before that not every track in the game has to be super difficult, and since I'm on the 252 stroke, it's actually nice not struggling too much. Let's try and get these rhythms correctly though. We've got on-off there, got a little step over here. If I was to be a little bit picky, I would say the textures make it a little bit difficult to see like how the jump faces clearly, if that makes sense, to kind of get a gauge on how fast you're going, how to triple through rhythm sections, where I feel like where the jumps are kind of built one by one, trying to get that consistency in lap time is going to be difficult as well, like trying to time all the triples perfectly. I did not expect that to be there on that side. It's actually like a really cool ground texture where it's got rocks and like random twigs and stuff sticking through this stuff that, again, nobody probably cares about at all, that YouTube probably doesn't even show the level of detail of. But if you was to not stop and look at it and you was just riding past, you wouldn't really know, you wouldn't acknowledge it too much. And I would say that, again, where you're riding past things so quickly, a lot of the detail does get lost. So if ever you are playing games, feel free to just have a stop and a look around now and then. You might find some hidden secrets. I know there's a few creators out there that leave Easter eggs all over the place. I mean, let's just try and pick a random example, Swedish Midsummer Carnage by Hell Machine. Did you know that there's sex dolls dotted around there? That there's 2, to be exact. There's one in the barn, and there's also one hidden off in one of the very far back corners of the map. I think you can only really see by going into the replay camera. So just little quirky things that people put in their tracks, had a bit of life, had a bit of character to them. So I think we're going to move over, because this Supercross track is quite simple as well. I think we're going to move over to the bit that I've been the most excited for. I really enjoy straight rhythm. I wish that we had some straight rhythm events in this game, although I am aware they're probably quite hard to host with how like picking gates work in full lobbies, etc. I imagine there'd be a lot of issues with it. But let's see how this goes. Oh god, this is probably going to take a lot of runs to try and get clean, unless I just get lucky. That is a wall jump. So then it's wall jump, we go on. Where's my game? Please tell me my game hasn't just crashed. I am completely frozen. That is a new one. Usually, when I get a game crash, it will just completely go black screen and then it will close. I've never had it where I can hear the engine in the background the whole time and get the runtime error. Huh. I definitely think I'm going to be removing Max HUD again after that, to be honest. I don't know. I feel like I've had no game issues at all the whole time that I've had Max HUD removed. As soon as I put it back in, I get a weird game crash, and it's very rare that that happens to me in testing. Usually it's in packed online lobbies. I don't think I've ever had it happen in testing like that before, so very, very odd. But at least it let me have another attempt at the straight rhythm. So it's actually fairly short. There's not much to it in terms of having to remember rhythms. Is this the finish line? Yeah, big old triple for the finish line. Okay, so we start here. We've got a little triple to begin with. We've then got another triple. Can I jump over the wall? Oh, that's fast. Okay, we jump over the wall. We go on, off again. Step out! You saw nothing. We'll pretend that didn't happen. If we go to the right side, it looks lower than the left, so that's a little bit quicker. Then we go triple, step over the wall again, then go on, oh. What's wrong with me? How am I making exactly the same mistakes time and time again? Jesus Christ. Right. This is the run. Telling you, this is the run. Right, triple. Triple. Double over. On. 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 Off. There we go. Big double. And then get off the back foot. Do 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 do. Huge triple that gives me a bit of weird physics because it's so steep. And there you go. We've actually got a clean run. And to be fair, what was that, like 6 attempts in total? But you know what? Overall, fairly solid. I'm going to call it a compound because it has multiple tracks involved. And I don't have much else to say, really. So, massive W. Thank you, Narvo, for providing tracks to us. Again, I don't know if it's just out of ignorance or I genuinely missed stuff, but I had no idea just how many tracks you'd release to the community overall. Best wishes again for the near future for you. And to everyone watching, thank you very much. I hope you have enjoyed. Drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new, all that good stuff. Always appreciated. Have a lovely rest of the day. Catch you boys next time. Peace.